My name is Michael Brandon Lowery. This is my live audience consisting of adults, and this is in partial fulfillment of my Communications 101 class at Liberty. We'll get ready for the presentation. Today I've chosen to give my persuasive speech on reading, and on the benefits of reading and on the consequences of not reading. Mark Twain once said that the man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who can't. And we need to see maybe the importance of what we've been given here in our society and the ability to read. And we need to understand that we need to take full responsibility for our reading, because it not only affects us, but it also affects those that are in our lives. It affects our children, it affects our society as a whole, and it also affects even those who are around us as we age and as we lose some of our senses, as we lose some of our cognitive abilities. The NEA in 2007, in a report titled To Read or Not to Read, a question of national consequence, is quoted as saying there's 74 to 80% of college freshmen and college seniors that don't read any books or read 0 to 4 books within a year. Now, having lived in a past where I didn't read, I read as a child, and then as I grew older, after high school, I didn't read through my 20s, and I saw the consequences in my life, or I saw that lifestyle. And now being back in college in my 30s, I can see how even almost my own well-being is benefited by reading, and how just the information and just the education through books has helped me. So today I really want to move you to read more, to be able to read not only our books that interest us, but also books on other things that are going to allow us to understand other people and other cultures and other perspectives. Because that reading does not only benefit ourselves, but it also benefits society. Reading affects children, reading affects our adult lives, and reading affects our minds as we grow. In 2006, Candace Dyer came out with a study or with an article in the Explore the South magazine, and it was called Hooked on Phonics. And basically she quotes Mark Berline, an Emory literacy professor, that said that non-reading has an impact on our workplace. It hits our economy, our schools, our world like a bomb. 38% of employers complain that local schools inadequately taught reading and writing comprehension. And so those are our schools that aren't even teaching reading and writing comprehension. Children are affected by parents that don't read. Children are affected by schools that don't emphasize reading enough. In 2006, there was a study with the CBS News Health Watch report, and they were quoted as saying that this study shows a relation between reading to children and children's language and cognitive abilities and development that begins very early. And it implies that the parent-child book reading and other language-oriented interventions for vulnerable children should begin much earlier than has generally been proposed. And this was from Helen Rakes, a doctor and a professor at the Family and Consumer Sciences of the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. So we can see that it affects children, but it also affects your adult life. In fact, the Arizona Republic is a Phoenix-based newspaper, and they're quoted with saying in 2004 that when the state of Arizona projects how many beds to create for their prisons, what they reference is the 4th grade reading level. They reference how many children in the 4th grade are reading. The more children that are reading in the 4th grade, the less beds they're going to need in the future for their prisons. That's an amazing parallel. That's an amazing reality that we deal with and that we have to look at, and it brings the importance of reading into focus. And then finally, mature adults need to read. They need that cognitive stimulation. Jenna Briner, in her article, Brain Exercises Can Do Mental Decline But Then Watch Out, in 2010, does not recommend just doing mindless crossword puzzles. Neuroimaging studies have shown us that basically what we have to do, we have to have practice regularly and intensively these reading skills. They need to be challenged. They need to be challenged in activities and also in intriguing or fun for the individual, and adds that any activity that involves reading is a good place to start. So reading, even if only casually, really it satisfies what it is that our need is, and that is that we can help benefit children, we can help benefit our own lives, and we can help as we get older. So it's necessary to read something in order not to get caught up in all of the technology and all of the other things that are in our world, and it's imperative that we would read and that we would keep our minds sharp. So the action today that I would ask you to take is that we would read something. That we would read something small and something that we can accomplish and get that sense of being able to read a book. That we would read an article or something of that nature without having to get into something that is too big for us to bite off. And then finally, that we would get into reading something that is outside of our comfort zone, and that we would really see how other people live or other perspectives. I've seen some through my studies. I've seen where the English language is the most rich language in the world, and yet most books are written with about a 22-word range. And so we don't take advantage of what we've been given in this nation. And then finally, our call to action again is to read something. Whether it be simple, whether it be a newspaper, whether it be something that is interesting to you, we should read. Because it not only affects us again, reading affects our children. Reading affects our lifestyles, and reading affects those who love us and would seek to spend more time with us when we're old. I pray that you would be moved or encouraged to read, and if you are reading, to continue reading. Thank you very much.